All right, the Lions make a Brad Holmes classic strategic move that I love. Plus, we'll look at a secondary player that we're going to let walk, and then a secondary player that came available from the Seahawks, plus from the Jacksonville Jaguars that would be perfect for us, and hopefully we pick up in free agency. A couple guys that did not get tagged, and so the Lions could go after them. So let's look at the first move that we made, and it's really three things in this video that we'll talk about. First one, strategic move, is the signing, and you probably know by now, of Emmanuel Mosley. But this is really good because this is the ACL strategy that Brad Holmes goes after. And it's just his little way of finding a way in for getting guys for cheaper. And he did it with Hendon Hooker, did it with James Mitchell, Emmanuel Mosley, Jamison Williams, guys with ACL injury. So he knows that if you have an ACL injury, the odds of you tearing that again are very, very little, and you're going to be right back up to speed. Just so happens with Mosley, he tore his other Achilles or his other ACL. So the facts are really, he's good. I mean, as cruel as that is, it's like he's good. He's torn both. So this is awesome. And here's what I love hearing is that Justin Rogers spent time with Mosley this offseason, and he was around the team. He was involved in the second half of the season because remember, he tore that Achilles, or I keep saying Achilles, his ACL on the second play that he came back. Second play. So of course he was devastated, but he said, I found joy coming around, being around my teammates, seeing them excited, being excited to go to the playoffs. It's the little things like that that I haven't done in a while, just being around, make sure I'm helping out the guys as much as I can with what I see on film. I'm sticking around them because that's what guys did for me. So we have so many holes in the secondary at corner. We don't have a starting opposite corner from Cam Sutton, and we don't have depth. So we need these guys. And so this is smart for Mosley to just be like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to stay here with the Lions. And the Lions like, yeah, man, we'll get you for cheap. Let's go. So I love this one. It's part of the Brad Holmes plan to get guys with ACLs and make it happen. And here it is. Jeremy Reisman said, and this is from Pride of Detroit, the Lions need all the help they can get in the secondary at this position at corner. While still recovering from the injury, Mosley offers the Lions experienced corner who has starter upside. This will likely not alter the Lions' offseason plans to address the position, free agency, or the draft. So let's look at that. If you look at it, free agency and the draft, here's some guys that came available. Corner Darius Williams from Jacksonville, Jamal Adams, safety, Quandre Diggs, safety. But this is the one, Darius Williams from Jacksonville. Good enough, kind of mid-range starter available, right? He's not like your starter stud number one, but he's also not, he could also be kind of a fringe backup, but it's just a body that with playing experience, with the ability to help out. Because as we look at the draft and we look at corners, and we'll get back to that in just a second, this was brought up to me and it makes perfect sense. Wide receivers and the quality of wide receivers outnumbers the quality of corners. And that's been like that now for a couple of years in a row. So that disparity is just getting greater and greater, where you can't find the corners to cover these really good wide receivers coming out of college. So they're at a very high premium. So if you can get depth at any point, and then you have to draft them, you just do. Like, we have to draft well. And I trust that Brad Holmes will do that, because we go here. Jerry Jacobs will not be coming back next year. Jerry Jacobs is a really unique situation. I think the original thought with him was that he's physical, he can tackle, like he can bump and run. But what we learned over time is he really wasn't good at anything. And he wasn't bad at anything, but he never excelled at anything. He wasn't good in coverage, wasn't really a great run support guy. He just couldn't do anything very well. And so it really hurt the Lions. So we bring in Vildor. Vildor is not great at run support. He's really not a great corner, but at the end of the day, he was not bad at coverage. Like, he just was around and could stay there, where Jerry Jacobs could just get toasted, and it killed the defense. So Jerry Jacobs not coming back. I think this is absolutely the right move. It's time to just move on. He's not going to help in any way going forward, right? So, but shout out to him. Like, he started 29 games in all, 23 passes defended. He had 4 interceptions. Like, he had some things there for a little bit, but he was an undrafted in 2021. But he endured some deep struggles last season and was eventually benched for Vildor. Jacobs finished the season on IR. Now both Spears appear to be moving on. Yeah, so we had some injuries, had some weird stuff happen. It's just like, it's time, man. So let me know your thoughts on this in the secondary. We have to draft, and we've looked at the trades for Snead. We've looked at some different things, but at the end of the day, you've got Mosley coming back, and we know that he won't be ready until halfway through the season and all that. So he's part of the plan. I love the pickup, getting him back. Absolutely. Let's do it. Jerry Jacobs is gone. So now you've got Cam Sutton. Vildor's a free agent as well. So it's like, do you just do it by numbers? Do you just bring in 6 guys, free mid-range free agents, and draft a couple and then just sort it out there? Do you go attack a Snead and go get better? Do you find a high-priced free agent corner and just fix your problems? That's what the Lions have to figure out what they want to do, because my thought is you have to draft 2 corners in this upcoming draft. Remember, we have 4 picks in the top 100. You got to do it, because we don't need wide receiver, and that's really nice. We don't need wide receiver. We don't need running back. We don't need a quarterback. So we need interior offensive line and corner. I know defensive line is a priority as well, but if I had to rank them, and let me know you're in your comments, for me, it's corner, interior offensive line, then the D line. And hey, look, you can't solve everything every offseason, and wish you could, but that's the priority for me, because you look at what's going to happen with Jonah Jackson, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow is just, hurt, and you never know. He could be out multiple games at a time. You just never know how that works. So, and that's really if we're going to have Jared Goff as our quarterback, then we have to be good on the offensive line, because if he's protected, he's great. If he's not and he's scrambling and running, that's when problems happen, because he's naturally trying to get out of trouble, and he's so incredibly slow, and that's when he gets hit, fumbles. It's as soon as Goff starts scrambling, you're like, oh boy. Like in the playoff game against the Rams, when he like 2-handed shoveled it backwards when he was going down. It's just like, yeah, nah, don't, Jared, don't do that. Don't do that stuff. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Lions making some moves, a lot more coming up here as free agency begins. The tampering period, it goes to free agency, and then goes into the draft. Can't wait for that. Craig and I will be live for the draft. Make sure you join us. That's always a lot of fun, and we'll see all of you